back. This is Fantastic Pains and How We Hide Them. I'm not Chris.
And I'm not Karina.
But we're here together.
As unusual.
With friends.
Okay, friends. Let's introduce each other. So you're not.
I'm not Visi.
And you're not.
And I'm not Kaylee.
But we're all here together.
Yay.
For more fun time.
Visi's
and
back. And so is Kaylee.
Shenanigans.
Just what the people wanted. And just in time for EDS Awareness Month. And our birthday. It's perfect.
Birthday. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, our second birthday for the podcast will be on May 3rd. So you'll get this episode just before. And you can send us birthday love.
I want birthday
Send
cards
money.
with money in them. Yes.
Yeah, the $1,000 in Venmo.
No. Whatever $10
PayPal.
is equivalent. I want birthday
PayPal.
cards.
$10 from everyone.
No.
Oh my god.
$20
Oh, God.
from everyone.
This is a sticker.
What are you, cheap? Come on.
We're only two. What are we gonna do with that kind of money?
I've had a lot of caffeine this morning already.
All right.
We are all very well caffeinated. So
Oh,
that
yes.
is a great start to the podcast. But where can they find us if they want to join the party?
You can find us on podcast platforms like Audible. There's Google
Spotify.
Podcast.
Google Podcast,
Spotify.
Stitcher.
I don't know if we're on Stitcher.
The face Kaylee just made.
Yeah, I don't think we're on Stitcher.
I didn't
Okay.
even know that was a thing.
I'll check because we have a bunch of like.
Podbean.
Yeah, we're on
Yeah, we're on
Podbean. That's where
Podbean.
we host, actually, is Podbean. You can also watch us on YouTube.
Mhm.
You can see and watch us. Watch the craziness happen.
Yep. There's some fun on TikTok.
Yeah.
And then if you want to join the party and participate, you can find our Discord link in the description. We had a lovely live this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we like to shoot those Friday evenings, Saturday mornings, Mountain Time.
Mountain Time.
So,
If you're European, that means Saturday evening.
yeah.
So
like
that's
5
your best
p.m. in the UK.
Yeah.
But yes, it's been a great morning getting to talk to some new friends, which is very exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And everybody had some really, really good ideas for this episode. So stick around. It's going to be really exciting. But first, what do we have to do? We got to do some
We got to talk about our Patreon.
Patreon.
It finally happened.
It exists.
Thanks, Krieg, for pushing us into doing it.
Yeah.
You bully.
Yeah. And we have some people to do some call-outs for.
We do. We have two call-outs. We have to
Yeah.
do Dweeb, also known as Kaylee. Kaylee, thank you.
You're
You're
welcome.
getting called out. Thank you for your
And Krieg,
contribution.
first of the Pains,
First of the Pains.
who joined right away, right
Yes.
after Kaylee.
Which is fantastic. We're really excited. And we're really excited to get to do these call-outs. So
Mm-hmm.
go join the party. You can find some unedited episodes like this one.
Short form films. We have our music reviews. We got everything there. Just go
Yes,
check it
They're
out.
releasing their next album soon on Patreon.
You're not supposed to tell people about it.
Oops.
It was
edit
going to
that
be an
out.
underground
Edit that
EP. We were going to release it through like an indie and then it's ruined.
It's true. We can't release it now.
Edit
It's
that
gotta
out.
just
Cut
bury
it. Cut it.
Bury it. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we're all in a lovely, belligerent, happy time mood, and we're going to talk about stress versus symptoms.
I'm in a happy time
Happy
mood.
time mood. I don't know.
I
Help.
feel like that's a good vibe for this topic.
Yeah. Weekly recap.
Yes. Well,
It's time for.
you're not going to let me do my bit?
It's time for.
He's gonna get mad if I don't. Okay. It's time for the weekly recap.
Chicken. Okay. We're good. It's okay. It's over. We've moved on.
I feel like I have to go first because mine is less drastic.
Yes.
So we're gonna do a little more than a weekly recap because we didn't shoot an episode last week. Yeah.
We're gonna recap it real quick, but then the actual
Yes,
the full story will be on time. A video we release on Wednesday.
It's definitely worth a story time, so go check that out because there's a lot.
You want me to put a link like right here?
Maybe a little to the
Right,
Is he gonna remember to do the thing?
I think we've spent enough time on this that he will.
God, she knows me so well. Yep.
There we go. I fixed it.
Oh, don't just put the number because I'll be like, what happened then?
Oh, then you'll go back and watch it.
I don't want to watch it. I can tell you right now, I don't want to watch
link?
it.
What are we putting here?
Yeah, put link.
Link
to description.
Oh yeah. Sorry, friends.
Bad times.
Belligerent as all get out.
Yeah. So remember how last week I said my face was hurting me? Yeah, that turned out to be trigeminal neuralgia. And so now my face does a really cool thing where it just bursts into flames and electricity and sometimes stabbing ice pick fun times at random. And that's cool. So I've been trying to get used to that. And so I've had to call my brother crying in my classroom.
Oh yeah, no, I suggested you call. It wasn't like you were.
Yeah.
I was like, you're gonna suffer with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I messaged you. I was like, something's wrong.
Oh yeah, you knew right away.
Yeah. It's funny. It's like something is wrong. I need to message her.
And I was bawling in my classroom, and that was only one of the times because I also called my husband crying at least once last week. So I'm trying to deal with that. I had therapy, and she broke me. And that wasn't nice because we always get to the part where I cry and then she's like, oh, look, we're out of time. And I'm like, okay.
But now the real work.
Strategies. See you next week.
Right. She's like, you need to look in your toolbox. And I'm like,
pack this up.
What? Yeah. So that's been the majority of my insanity.
Yeah.
The dog had a seizure. And that was fun. I still haven't dealt with that. But she's on gabapentin, so we're preventing the seizures from happening, which is good. I feel like something else happened before all of the crazy, but maybe not. Everything's just kind of been swallowed up.
No, trigeminal neuralgia was kind of the big thing, and then...
Yeah. So, yeah, all the fun. Oh, yeah, so they upped one of my medications in the hopes that it would help with the trigeminal neuralgia. And I was like, how long until I know if it's working? And they were like, a couple of weeks at least. And I was like, I hate you.
Want fix now.
Yeah. But that's been my fun time recently.
Yep. Yeah. My turn?
Your turn.
I'll just jump into it.
Get a brief
take a deep breath with me and breathe out. I decided that I would develop pneumonia very abruptly within the span of a few hours.
Yep.
And then I would turn that I was going to, transition that into sepsis because I thought investing in sepsis would really get me far in life.
And to spice things up a little.
Yeah, just a new
experience. Spicy sepsis.
So my kidneys turned off, and I barely made it out alive.
Yep.
And so that was my adventure.
And then you've been resting.
I've been for a good week and a half.
So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, really,
go
check out the story.
If you want the story time.
If you want to know what happened.
It's going to be good.
It's a time.
Link in description.
Yes.
Yeah, or right here.
Again.
Right
Put
here.
This way. Write the time down.
It's oh no.
New link right there. Oh, it's moving. Oh, why did you do?
Why are you doing this to yourself?
I hate
39, 30, and onward.
Oh, there it goes. God damn it.
Oh, it's back. It's flashing now.
Great.
Awesome. Look at all that work you just made for yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm good at.
Good stuff. Kaylee or Visi, would you like to do a weekly recap? Or a recap since last we talked?
It's been 2 years.
It's been
while.
2 years.
2 years to catch up on?
I know, right?
It's been a
Let's
while.
I don't know. Moved, haircut, still same job, busy. There we go. There's the last 2 years.
Oh, that works.
Summarized.
Much busy.
I mean,
Visi is busy.
with artwork though, and art.
Yeah, with both.
I want to
now,
put some of your
just
stuff
work.
up on the screen, so let's write that down.
No, don't do
Stop.
that to yourself.
Stop
A really
doing
quick
that.
slideshow, one frame each per image.
Like 1 second, like.
Yeah, for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds.
All right, everybody. Here's the entire work.
Oh my god.
The entire collection of Visi in 5 seconds.
It's gonna
And
just
when
be the error
From when they
message
started
again.
drawing until now. One
Wow.
each per month.
Do you have all those
One
works from when you were a child?
I don't have like anything from
Dang
when I was a
it.
child. so
I do. We'll just put mine in and say I was busy.
perfect. Yeah, no one will know.
Awesome.
I have worm drawings from when I was like 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you've been doing them that long. That's cool.
Apparently
Right?
I have.
Worms,
Also dinosaurs and motorcycles.
dinosaurs, and motorcycles.
That about sums up your life.
I've been the same person since I was 3.
Do you want to do a weekly recap?
When was the last time I was here? Had I moved?
You had
You
not
had
moved.
moved.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was right after
Okay.
you moved.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I haven't moved since last time. But I am enjoying where I live more than I thought I would.
Good.
Good.
And I don't really have much going on though because I'm unemployed, and my therapist told me like I should get out more, but not in like a touch grass kind of way. In like a have you tried spending more time with your friends to see if that brings any purpose to your life kind of way? So I'm here.
So I have to bring purpose to your life?
I
No
didn't-
pressure.
I'm sorry.
Right?
I didn't
You're
want to put
here
that
for
on
the
you, but
ha-has, okay?
Whew.
That's why I'm here.
That's life.
I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Are you gonna make a slideshow of reasons to live?
Oh no, that could go wrong real quick. Here's a list of
Potatoes.
reasons
Things
to
that
live.
bring meaning to life.
Also
The meaning
potatoes.
of life slideshow.
Let me just
And
answer
like
that.
every 5th frame is a potato.
Or a cat.
You guys,
Just cats and potatoes.
I'm gonna be
That's
editing
what we
this
got.
for
Write
like,
that
oh
Cats,
my god,
potatoes.
all
I'm
week.
42.
Nobody loves me.
This episode will never be
You
released.
did this to
I'll come help
yourself.
you,
It'll
actually.
just be edited forever.
Yeah.
Lid in here.
Just
Oh.
put it up and none of this stuff is edited in. It's just like, no.
They're
I
just
refused.
smiley faces. Like, no,
Middle finger.
So y'all have to watch this on YouTube now to figure out if he actually did it.
that's true.
Did I?
Did
Who
he?
can say?
I need to find out now.
I think I did probably the first 2 and then gave up after
That's
the
when
chaos.
the joke stopped
I
being
stopped writing
funny.
it down, so we're done with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cats and potatoes. We got it.
All right. So that's everybody.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
Stress and symptoms,
Yes.
and the correlation and the difference, actually.
Right. Well, and how to communicate that to like practitioners as well.
Yeah.
Because, just like anxiety, stress is a big, I don't know, scapegoat for
Right, so
symptoms.
It's this big thing that everyone's like, oh, it's always stress or it's always anxiety.
Yeah.
But then how do you approach your doctor when it actually is those things and have it not turn into just that?
Right.
Like, how do you go, I'm feeling anxious
Right.
about this and I have this going on, and without them going, oh, it's all your anxiety again.
Yeah.
Way to wear it.
Well, and to be honest, it took me 2 years to get generalized anxiety off of my medical record.
Yeah.
2 full years of being
Still
like,
on mine.
hello, no, I'm not anxious. My medication takes care of that. Thank you. I have symptoms. And they were like, anxiety?
It's bad.
And they were like, wait, you have trouble sleeping because your thoughts are racing and you're thinking about all the bad things that could possibly happen. And I'm like, no, I'm singing a song about pirates and also drawing my next drawing and then thinking about how I'm going to handle this kid tomorrow. No, it's just the ADHDs.
Last night when I was trying to fall asleep, I was like doing a painting in my head.
Right?
Wow.
You're like,
had to,
I need to
I had
plan
to
this
get
out.
my phone out and draw it so that I could stop thinking about it.
Nice.
Because the brain is like, it just is, she doesn't shut up.
No.
And so it took a long time for them to be like, oh, it's not anxiety. And then during the day, because, you know, you have to do those like screeners.
Mm-hmm.
I was always scoring really high because of sleep.
Oh,
And I'm
God,
like,
of
you know
course.
why I have trouble sleeping? Because I dislocate things in the middle of the night, or I cut off circulation in the middle of the night, or
Yeah.
100 billion other things.
I'm still not sure that they understand
Night
that.
sweats.
I know you've made progress, but I still don't think they understand that, like on a
No.
fundamental level.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna have to just learn as we go.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else to be done.
No, you can only say it so many times without it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and they always think I'm like diverting, and I'm like, I'm really not though.
Like,
I'm
it's
really
not anxiety. Wink.
right. Let's talk
I'm
about
like,
your
stop winking.
horrible, crippling pain.
Please. Pain.
This
Heavy
pain.
quotation marks.
Mm-hmm.
Hate that. Don't like it.
Yeah.
So I finally got that off of my medical record, which was a relief, because that means that nobody's looking at me going, oh, is it your anxiety? So I escaped from that one. But the stress is definitely that same kind of scapegoat.
It is. Well, and how is it hard to... It's not hard, I should say. It's easy to just be like, I'm stressed.
Yeah.
Because anything that's stressing you could be a big or small deal. Like, you don't know how much it's impacting you. And if you go to your doctor and you're like, well, I have this going on.
Yeah.
Like...
Well, I always get asked, like, do your symptoms increase when you're stressed out? Like, my neurologist was like, oh, wow, that's a lot going on in your life. How does that impact your pain? And, like, does it get worse when this stuff is going on? But I'm broken and backwards, and so this will be a really interesting conversation for me to listen to more than anything. Because when I'm stressed out or there's something going on, that becomes like the forefront.
Yeah, it's your hyper focus.
Yeah. And the body falls kind of to the background. So I don't even notice if it was making it worse.
I was going to say, like, it could be, but then you're just not experiencing it.
Right. So
weirdly.
I don't know. I don't know.
I know for me it does.
Yeah. What is that like for you, though?
Was it sucks. That's what it's like. What do you mean? What is it like?
Describe
horrible.
it.
No, it's one of those things where I either notice the stress first and then I notice the pain, or the pain makes me notice that I'm stressed.
Okay.
Like, because I'll have these conversations with Jen at night where I'm like, I feel like extra shitty today, and she'll be like, oh yeah, because this is going on, and I'm like, oh, you're right, that makes total sense.
Okay, so
or
it's like...
yeah, or it works backwards where I'll be like, man, I just have a lot going on.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I could tell because you've been taking more ibuprofen lately. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
See, and I'm bad. I don't even like notice enough to be like, I'm going to do something about this. I'm just like, I don't know.
Right.
Body, shut up. We've
You
got
also
stuff
have a lot
to
more
do.
going on. You're more active in general.
Yeah.
Like, you're bombarded by things left and right pretty much throughout the day. Right?
Yeah. Something is always on fire.
Right.
Doesn't matter what.
Either you or reality.
Right. Or a child. That happens too.
Or a child.
Sometimes my kids catch fire.
I hate when that happens.
Good.
But I want to hear from you guys. Like, how does that play out between stress and like or stress and causing, like, stress being housed within the body, I guess.
No
Everybody
comments.
stare at Kaylee.
No comment. Well, I know for me, it's very much the taking care of other people so that I don't have to think about taking care of myself. And it's not even like I'm actively thinking of it like that. It's more just there's
What
a
you
lot
do.
going
That's just
on.
what
And it's just,
happens.
my default state of brain is to be like,
Yeah.
oh, you have all these problems. Let me address that for you. And like the mom mode kicks in of like,
Right.
I got to help you.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing that, all of my things kind of go to the back burner. And it's like a fun way to not have to. It's Rin building a snowman.
That's,
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happened to me, like, at the beginning of the year when I had all that shit going on.
Mhm.
And I was like, somehow I'm fine. And you're like, I don't know how you're fine.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no way that it makes sense for you to be fine. And I'm like, I'm doing great.
That makes sense to me because, like, crisis mode is the most familiar mode, I guess.
Yeah.
I was going to say the most comfortable, but that
No,
sounds
it's
really
familiar.
weird. It's
It's
familiar. And so I slide into it really easily. And then
Yeah.
it's just crisis management.
Yeah.
And so I do, like, hit the mom mode in some ways, or I'm, like, putting out fires or taking care of people and making sure that people who are not so good at, like, diverting are doing okay.
Yeah.
And are not also melting down.
Like, mom mode now, meltdown later.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, then I always go back for, like, my turn, and it's never my turn, and so I just put it away forever.
Well, yeah, like things like happen. Like, you're like, I'm gonna have my turn, and then I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You think you're
Or
gonna have time
somebody-
to decompress?
Yeah, or somebody at work has something, like, explode right when I'm like, hey, guys, I need help with the
Yeah,
Oh,
you're like coming
okay.
in with all those like projects full of like shit that you're dealing with. And you're like, let's work on.
I'll just set this over here.
Yeah. Just leave it.
I'll
Leave it
just grab
alone
this on
for
my
a
way
while. Oops.
Yeah, right. Trip on it
Oops.
on the way out.
Yeah. Fall directly on my face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I definitely am like in the put it away type thing, just because.
Yeah.
Stress is. I don't necessarily understand where stress. Like, okay, I need you to like psychic link here.
Okay.
When does the stress become like compounded stress that is bad stress?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So like,
Right. Like if my threshold for stress is way up here,
yeah.
so I'm handling all of this really well, and so I just don't worry about it.
No, what'll happen is you'll get to something that's really personal.
Oh yeah.
So like normally you can handle the personal stress just fine,
Mm-hmm.
but then on top of like if you're dealing with a bunch of stuff at school and you've got health stuff going on, and then someone's like, "Oh, here's this last little bit," that's it.
Yeah.
That's when you overload.
No, that makes sense. Because yeah, it all just like comes falling down all on its own.
And then you're swamped in it.
But even when I'm like sobbing in my classroom, I'm still not like my body hurts worse.
Right.
That's not a thing that happens for me. It's not. I don't know. Even
No, it's not something you think about actively. Like,
yeah.
I'm never like, you know what? I'm definitely hurting because I'm stressed. It's Jen's always piecing it together because I'm just sitting here experiencing it.
Right. And I'm like, I don't know. I just turn into a potato at night. That's what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Potato time.
And they're like, self-care. And I'm like, I turned into a potato in the bath. I did the thing.
You're a cooked potato.
Potato soup.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I don't know. It's an interesting thing because it's definitely not one that I track at all.
No.
Because I just...
That's interesting. Yeah, we don't usually
trauma,
track.
Yeah. Because of the level of trauma we grew up in and grew up with, there's this like assumption that everything's gonna be chaos, and so we're just like waiting for the next chaos storm, and we're like, oh yes, here it is, it has come.
Yeah.
And then we're fine, like, because we expect stress. We like stress is a normal thing for us.
Right. The chaos is comfortable now, and if you don't have it, it feels like uncomfortable.
It really does.
Yes.
And I had that once.
You had that
I had that once.
I did.
I
where
was
I
not
like,
stressed for
this
once.
is
Things
not
were
right.
calm and I hated it.
Right. The part of identifying where stress is coming from requires you to pause taking care of other people or filling your schedule with lots of busy things and reflect. And like you just said, and like the potato in the bath, if you stop and you pause, then you're going to start feeling your pain, and you're going to have to start identifying like all those things that were in the background of your mind will come back to the foreground. And you don't want that. So you just don't ever get to that point of pausing to reflect to figure out where your stress is coming from.
Feel your feelings.
Yeah.
Feel your feelings. I'm really good at intellectualizing my feelings.
Yeah.
But I also do feel my feelings in like short spurts.
Yeah. You like dull it
like,
out.
Bah! And then I'm like, okay, I gotta go teach math now.
Yeah.
And then I gotta button it all up so the kids don't know I was just crying. And then
to be fair, especially recently, you've had more of a change where you have to get those emotions out in that spurt because you have things going on, but you need to expel that.
Yeah. I'm like, I need to get it out of me, and there's no like appropriate timing.
Right.
Because even when it's like appropriate timing, I'm like, haha, now I can't access it.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for you to have another like huge like life ending crisis so that I can then relate and get over my last bit. I haven't processed it at all.
That's not how that's
true.
supposed to
Provide
work.
that catharsis for him.
Please.
Maybe if you find like a TV show where a character goes through something.
Right.
you
I've
do
been
that
trying.
Instead of making your
Read some
sister...
fan fiction.
I'm just saying, it'll take something weird like that. Wouldn't even have to be life ending. Like maybe you forgot the butter one day and you cry about it, and I'm like, I almost died, you bitch. How could you?
Well, and we're also in a really weird space where we're kind of going back and forth on what we just went through.
Yeah.
Where we're like, I need to talk about the thing, and then we talk about the other thing, and then we talk about the thing, and then we talk about the other thing.
Yeah, we're just not there
But
yet.
we're both having a hard time like prioritizing, because you're like, well, your thing lasts longer, and I'm like, yeah, but you almost died.
Well, yeah, we don't want to like we don't want to negate each other's experiences.
Yeah.
We're so used to that happening with other people where it's like
Oh, I just did that.
they go, "Oh, well, you have it worse."
I hate that though.
Right.
It's not a real thing.
No.
And we're learning to like not do that. And I think it's helping when we're talking to go back and forth because you and I understand that the other isn't like, it's my turn for attention now.
No, yeah.
It's just like, here's a thought. I had a thought. It's a thought. Okay, it's your turn. What's the thought?
Exactly.
So I think you and I handle it fairly well.
Yeah.
But we have to like do the back and forth.
The flip-flop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still want my catharsis, God damn it.
You almost died, Chris.
It's not. It doesn't hit hard. It really should.
Do you need to cry?
I do.
Probably.
You know what always makes me cry?
Me.
I was gonna say when Littlefoot's mom dies.
Oh, that's upsetting.
Rough.
Spoiler if you haven't seen Land Before Time.
There's like 14 of them.
The first one.
The first one. Yeah. Oh no. You could always just watch like what's that one that makes me bawl every single time I see it? Oh, Hachi, A Dog Story. Oh my god. Like
that's a rough one.
Open weeping.
That dog was amazing.
So sad.
There was an episode of The Last of Us that made me bawl. Maybe you could try that.
Which one?
I think it was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or 3 and 4.
Could be.
Yeah, there were some really good episodes in this
they
season.
Were very good.
It was really good.
It was so good.
The one with Nick Offerman.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, the one that everyone.
You're like 3 or 4 is
like,
like, oh, I know which one you're talking about.
I had a break now.
That was so good.
Tristan walked in and I was like, I'm watching The Last of Us. He's like, okay, I'll come back later.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. What usually helps you get to catharsis when things happen?
It's random. It always has been because I'm
like,
so used to
trigger.
pushing back. Like I lost in 2 years in a row when I was like 5 or 6. I lost all my grandparents except for one.
Yep.
And I didn't process that till I was like in my teens.
Oh wow.
I remember waking up one night and being like, "Oh my god," and just losing my shit.
Oh no.
Like remembering them and being like, "I can't believe that I've waited this long," and I felt guilty. And there was like a bunch of like, oh, I almost forgot about this, or the like weird memories just popping up. It was like all at once. I just had this meltdown for no reason.
Your brain's just like sorting things out one day and was like,
pretty much.
We found this. It was in the
This
back.
was in storage.
I don't know.
It's labeled Dark Days. Oh.
So we opened it.
Yeah, I dove right into that box.
Yeah. Good job.
But it is. There's like, I don't have like a trigger usually. It just happens.
See, I have like songs that I know I can like get to the emotion through the song.
Yeah.
And so I do a lot of that. I also do a lot of like, I don't know, like, when you talk to yourself as though you're talking to somebody else. I do a lot of that. That helps.
I don't do that because it makes me feel things.
That's the point.
There it is.
Shit.
Cool.
We found it.
No,
Found the
we
trigger.
really. I'm just gonna go out this window real quick.
Like, okay, bye.
I'd like to see you
I'd
get
like
through that
catharsis,
blanket.
but please,
Right?
God, no feelings.
I can't even get out the door. I don't know how you're gonna get through that
Especially
window.
with the padding here.
Oh yeah,
And the
this,
blinds,
yeah.
like,
There's
you're
no
in
getting through that.
trouble. Mm-mm.
You might crack the window, but you're not going through it.
Damn it. A cage
We're
of my own
talking about
design.
your feelings, whether you like it or not. Sit down.
Right now, go.
I'm feeling content right now. I'm
like
happy.
your
You guys are
affect
here,
is not
so-
Okay.
matching what you're saying right now.
I'm happy.
That's fair. I'll allow it.
Okay. It's like everyone's here. I'm happy.
It
Why
is
wouldn't
acceptable. That's funny. That's the other part too, is I have a hard
Shut up,
time
Bob.
like figuring out what I'm like carrying or what I'm experiencing, because I do a lot of just abandoning things where I'm like, I went through a thing, I have acknowledged that thing, done now, and then I move on, and then I'm like, okay, I forgot. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I fixed it, and then you unfixed it.
Oh. Try unplugging it real quick.
It's
Okay.
back. It's back. I could hear it.
This
It's
black
fine.
cable.
I know it gets like stuck in the thing. I don't know. I don't know what I was trying to say.
It's okay.
It was a good thought. I'm trying to remember.
What was I trying to say? Ah.
Oh, that you like. You'll experience a thing and then you're like, I'm done with it. I set this down. I'm moving on.
Yeah. So I have like crazy ADHD when it comes to even my emotions or experiences. Because I tend to be like, okay, that one's over now. Moving on.
Yeah.
Unless it left me like cut. And then I know, usually I know, most of the time I know that I have like a wound from that experience.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Where like I know there's something there.
Right.
There
is a wound. We just don't know.
I also don't want to go back to like
access it.
Remembering like the weird fever dream stuff.
Yeah. Because that's freaky.
And the like losing sense of reality.
Yeah.
There was a part where I was like literally so like toxified and running a fever so bad that I was questioning everything because I couldn't tell what was real. And there was a part where I was like, Jen's in on it. Like she knows this isn't real. She's waiting for me to like come to some realization and then take me somewhere. Or
that's disturbing.
Weird.
Yeah, it was not good. Like I was hearing voices and stuff too. Like any background noise was like a voice or a song.
Oh yeah, when you are like just out of earshot. Yeah.
It was not fun. I don't want to relive it.
No.
I don't want to do kidney failure again. Little word of advice to everybody. Don't do kidney failure.
Mark it off your bucket list and never go back.
Maybe do
kidney
it once.
failure done.
No, never.
Don't do that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Because especially for you, like I can absolutely relate because after hip surgery, I decided I wasn't going to breathe anymore. And I didn't acknowledge that for like 3 full days. And I had oxygen in my house and was still sleeping with it by the time I acknowledged it. Like, and then I was like, oh shit. Randy had to like deal with that. That's scary. And then I went to you and I was like, what? How did you not remind me of the, like, what?
Yeah. No, that's very much who we are, though.
Yeah.
Like, cause like when I was in the ICU, I was like, oh, I'm in the ICU. This is just serious, huh?
Yeah. You're
Holy
like, oh,
shit.
it's bad this time. Oh, no.
I didn't realize.
Whoopsies.
My bad.
I said I coughed. I'm not coughing. Wait, what? You're not coughing? Was a conversation I had with a nurse.
That was a very interesting conversation.
Because I was like, I've not coughed once during this whole thing. She's like, but you've been telling us you've been coughing. Like,
I was not here at the time.
Yeah,
Thank
like
you.
that's not fair. I
Are you
wasn't
sure
been
that
here.
was me?
I was dead at the time.
The other guy in here.
Mostly dead all day.
Yeah, pretty much. You did spend a day mostly dead.
I did.
Yeah. I don't know. But then what does stress feel like in your body?
Oof. Depends on the stress.
Yeah.
Like most of my stress that I experience, I think is more fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually just, adrenal drop. And then there's the feeling that you get with that adrenaline rush.
Yes.
I'd say that's most of it. Because if I'm stressed by anything anymore, it's going to be something big and urgent.
Mm-hmm.
Not something...
Right.
Because I can handle and tackle most things and not be like...
Right. Well, and I
overwhelmed.
think part of it is our ability to like look at something and be like something else is coming next. And so we don't linger a whole lot most of the time because we're like, oh, there's a big like stressor. I could waste energy stressing about it, or I can see what happens next.
Yeah.
And so I generally tend to like pick I'll just see what happens next. So if I'm like experiencing something that is stressful or would be stressful, I'm like, okay, let's put the emotional side away for now. Is there an action that I can perform? What is in my control? What can I do? Okay, nothing else? Got it. We wait now.
Right. The waiting sucks, but it's not stressful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just waiting.
Yeah.
Like we've talked before where it's like, we know what's going on. We know what's next. And then we'll both get to the point where it's like, I hate waiting, but it's not like I'm stressed out because I'm waiting.
I'm like, I still know something else is coming next.
Isn't that kind of the like double-edged sword of having gone through so much though emotionally, is that your tolerance goes way up to the point that like even if something probably does bother you,
Yeah.
you wouldn't notice that it bothers you because you're so used to like logicking yourself out of
Yeah.
the anxiety or the feeling
Right.
of stress. You're like, this isn't as bad as my threshold is. It's not even anywhere near it. So it's not that big a deal.
Right.
But we still have feelings in reaction to that. And if we don't give ourselves time to process what those are, then we're kind of just holding on to it until
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
later when it's going to, like,
Right.
you're
when it-
saying it'll be like 10 years later and you'll be like, oh, I'm having all these intense feelings because I'm realizing and reflecting I've been doing this for years.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's also, you can't like force yourself to process it before
Before
you're
you're
ready.
Mhm.
Yeah. That too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think like logicking your way out of feelings is a double-edged sword.
Here's the thing with that is like I feel like society conditions us to
Oh,
do that.
Absolutely.
Because they're like,
There's no
your
time.
grief and your feelings are taking up our time to
company
like
time.
own
Exactly.
you can't feel your feelings while you're at work. You can't feel your feelings while you're at school. You can't feel your like
Yeah.
we are trained and training our kids that like there's no time for you. And when there is time for you, you're going to be exhausted and you're not going to want to deal with it cuz you're exhausted.
Mhm. And we can modify that by slapping on the like self-care label of like just take
Yeah.
care of
Right.
yourself. And I'm like, that
Yeah.
is such a loaded
Oh, just
thing
do
to
it.
tell
Oh my
people
God.
to
Take
do.
a bath and have some tea.
Right.
That'll make it
Feel
all better. I was at school the other day. I think this was Wednesday, and they had like a guest speaker. I don't know
Oh,
who this woman
no.
is or where she
Oh
came from,
no.
but I was
Already.
livid because she was talking about how she was like the whole presentation was called making anxiety your superpower.
Making
No.
anxiety your bitch.
Yeah. And so she's talking about how there's good stress and bad stress, but really there's only good stress because stress, honestly, it prepares you. It's your body preparing you to deal with the situation ahead of you, and blah blah blah. And it literally was just. I looked at my social worker and I was like, "This is a whole new brand of capitalism where they're like, you know what? Your stress is totally super great and it doesn't hurt you if you don't think it hurts you.
Right.
So if you stop thinking that stress is a bad thing, you can continue being productive. Good job.
It's literally
Go.
not how stress works.
Stress makes
Right.
you just work faster. It's
Oh my
fine.
God.
At the
Exactly.
expense of years at the end of your
Yeah.
life.
Well, and I was livid because I was like, you're not talking about like ACEs for one thing, because ACEs too high is an incredible study that I think plays a huge role in where we are today. Whew. And then not talking about like cortisol and how that builds up in your bloodstream and that is unhealthy for your body. It's
Stress
literally
has literal physical effects.
Yeah.
on the
Exactly.
body. It's not
But
just
they're-
something you can be like,
yeah.
oh, I'm not stressed anymore.
But
It's
she was
gone.
like, here's the thing. Adults who think their stress is bad are going to have negative consequences. But if you take control and think that your stress is good, then you won't have negative consequences.
That's just
and I was
training
like,
people to be deluded.
exactly.
This woman gets paid like
I was like,
$1 million a
you
year to watch 5
are
TikToks
out
about
of
stress and
your
is like, I
mind.
got this. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not stressed. This how
I should
God.
become
it works
a
like this for
public
me.
speaker.
Well, and you know they're
Right.
talking about like they're not talking about the stress that our kids go through.
Right. Well, and they
Let's
don't
just
know the stress that
start
our
there.
kids. We
Exactly.
Right.
so overestimate. This might be just like angry teacher in me, but we overestimate or underestimate what our kids are going through because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're only like X amount of years old. You can't have experienced all these
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Right.
And
But
then we play it down to them, and it's like gaslighting from adults that they trust in their life to be
Yes.
like, you shouldn't be feeling these intensive emotions about this thing because it's
Mhm.
not that big a deal.
Yeah.
When really they're going through a lot.
and they're watching the world burn
Well,
from
yeah.
their cell phones
Yes.
every moment of the day. And then we're like, hey,
That's
care
like-
about something fucking stupid. And they're
That's
like,
not something that like
"Why?"
we had when we were their age
No.
either.
Right.
Like we had access to the news, but not like
yeah.
in our hand every minute of the day.
Right.
Just,
Well, and
like,
they're seeing things
constant
that are
news
not in the
stream.
news. They're seeing what's happening in Iran, for example. They're seeing what's happening in these like universities where people are protesting, or the police violence, or the gun violence and the mass shooting. Like, they are watching all of this unfold in front of them, and we're like, how do we make them do math?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Our
"Hmm."
test scores are going down, so
So-
actually we need you to work
Yeah.
on that.
I bombed Rin's scores.
Oh, what?
She did all of her C testing
Yeah.
Oh.
while I was in the hospital.
Oh. Oops.
Literally those 3 days were
But
the
this
3
is
days I
why
was in the
tests
hospital.
are not
No.
reliable or accurate.
Yeah,
and
no.
And
they
she's like,
mean
Dad, I think I
nothing."
bombed it. And I was like, you did, but it's okay because you had some stuff going
Yeah.
on.
They
Right.
don't mean anything, and it's so frustrating because
just-
like
Never mind.
Most of my kids like have seen a friend be shot. One of my kids still has a bullet in her ribs from when she was shot twice. One of my other kids was shot in the leg and still has a limp. Like, that's what these kids are going through, and you're gonna be like, stress is good and anxiety can work for you.
Ignore the bullet.
Ignore the bullet.
If you just think the bullet is a good thing, it won't hurt you.
It's a happiness
your-
start.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, that should be your header for this season. That's the title now. Either whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, or ignore the bullet.
Ignore the
Ignore
bullet.
the bullet.
Subtitle, Let's Boogie.
Let's boogie.
Ignore the bullet. Let's boogie. That is excellent.
Yes.
I love that. And that's the thing is, like, we're seeing all of this, but we've numbed ourselves out as human beings in our generation.
It's going great for us overall.
Yeah, because we
I mean, I'm still
took their word
alive.
for it. Just
Right?
just keep calm and
Something's
carry
working.
on. Yeah, because that's our generation, was keep calm and carry on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So no wonder we have a hard time like recognizing and dealing with stress, because we're like, no, everything is stress. What do you want from me?
This is fine, dog. This is
Yeah.
Exactly.
the representation of our generation.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's insane.
But what do we do about it? Like, how do we just continue
we
doing
don't
this?
do anything. We're millennials.
Well,
Yeah.
right. No, right. We couldn't. Okay, so then,
we
like,
just suffer and say it's okay.
what do we teach the little ones
There
to
you
do?
go. Yeah.
We teach them to look after themselves
Right.
And each other.
and each other. Yeah.
Yeah, build
And me.
communities.
And take care of me.
No.
Well, and that's
You're
the
on
thing.
your
Like,
own, bud.
I will deprioritize class
Sophie says that
if
to
a
me all
kid
the
is
time.
having a hard time.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry. First of all, that child is speaking to me about something that's really bothering them. So that is friggin' awesome. And no, they're not in a place where they can learn anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna take that kid for a walk, and we're gonna like
Yeah.
puzzle out what's going on with them. And sometimes, most of the time, they just want someone to hear them and be
Yeah.
like, "Wow, dude, you're going through a lot, and
Yeah.
you're handling it like a boss.
They need
but you
validation
need to
and
know
care."
that it's okay that you're feeling the way you
Right.
feel, because that is totally natural for this situation." Like that.
Imagine that.
Let's
I
do
never
that.
had that growing up. I don't think I ever had anyone I could talk to like that. Like,
No,
I was
I didn't.
Yeah.
definitely
Well, most of these kids
100%
don't.
depressed when I was 15,
Yeah.
but I didn't have anybody to like be
Yeah.
like, I need help.
Right?
Right.
I need medication or something.
Yep.
I didn't have the
Yeah.
vocabulary to express it either.
No, and
Like,
the
I
stigma
learned
behind
about-
it all.
I learned
Yeah.
about depression like in passing in a health class.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It was never
And I was like,
direct.
that sounds.
Yeah.
It was never direct.
Nah, it couldn't be me.
Right. Nobody
exactly.
ever talks about it, because we're talking about everything we like teach is based on let's prevent the absolute worst from happening, instead of let's address all of the other stuff that leads to the absolute worst thing happening.
Right.
But they're like,
We're treating the symptoms.
Yeah.
As
Yes.
a society,
It's-
we're
it's
treating the symptoms.
emotional band-aids.
Yep.
And then we take the band-aids and we're like, thank you, haha, and your like liver is falling out into your hand.
Is there knocking?
I think they're just making food.
We should also probably take a break.
Is it time?
It is time.
All right, friends.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what they need to do?
Take the meds, drink water.
Yeah.
Have a snack.
Have a
A
snack.
snack, obligatory snack. You are a snack.
Ooh.
Too bad. so
Yeah,
sad.
that's part of it.
Take it.
Take a snack or eat a snack. 'cause
Take
you
a
are
snack.
Take a snack.
Take this snack that I offered. No, have a snack. Drink your water. Take your meds. Take a break if you need to.
Yep.
And hopefully, maybe you can find some sunlight, because we can't.
Yeah.
It's snowing for fun, and I don't know. But yes, look after yourself. We're gonna go look after ourselves, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Bye.
Oh, hi. Do you like Fantastic Pains? Would you like to see more of the Fantastic Pains podcasting crew? If so, you should join our Patreon. The Patreon, as we like to call it, is the new home of our behind-the-scenes content, full uncut recording sessions, our short-form videos such as TikToks and YouTube Shorts, and our past live streams. You can also find some Patreon exclusive content such as our new music reviews, lost episodes, and is the new home of our Mini Voices series, all of which can be found in our higher tier dubbed The Only Pains. The Patreon is the best way to support the podcast, so whether you want to see more of us or just want to help us grow, feel free to sign up following the link in the description below, and hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the show.
Welcome back. How was your break? I got told what for by an 11-year-old.
Yes.
It was great.
Multiple times.
What did you do on your break?
Were you scolded by your children? If not, imagine it. It's great. Party for everyone. If you don't have kids, find some. They'll hate you. That's what they do.
Especially if you take them
Exactly.
to your house.
If you're just taking kids,
Right? I'm like,
Don't do that.
don't take kids. We're not morticians.
Wink.
Kaylee.
Definitely not morticians.
Yeah. So, what are we going to cover in the second half?
Oh, dear.
So we're talking about, I liked the conversation we were having about like where you feel it in your body.
Yeah.
So I think if we can tie it in with how to feel your feelings, that episode, it's very good. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Link up.
I'm not writing it down anymore. You're on your own.
He's just gonna be pointing at nothing.
I do it because I love you.
I'll text it.
He said to his future self.
Kaylee's on it. Okay.
So I'm kind of curious, like, what are your body signifiers that there's stress? Like, what does your body feel or do, or like, what does that look like for you?
For me,
Mhm.
it's nowadays it's literally increased pain. Like I'll start feeling my shoulder pain that
Yeah.
I don't have for the most part until I'm stressed, or if like I miss a medication because then my body's under a different kind of stress. You know,
Yeah.
I'll feel it in my joints a lot, mainly my joints.
Okay.
Do you think it's because like of tension?
Probably like everything.
Having everything
'Cause you're like
Clenched.
holding yourself tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. It just makes sense. I also get some like chest tightness.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know that one. For me, like, I can feel the stress in my upper belly.
Yeah.
I'll also get like headaches. Very specific headaches, right below, like above my eyebrows. And that's generally like I'm too clenched up, or my neck will hurt because I do this. And
Yeah.
It's not great. So when I notice it, I try to roll it out. But,
Mhm.
yeah. How about you guys?
I know I get shrimpy when I'm working. My body just turns into
Oh, yeah,
the letter
absolutely.
G.
Shrimp
And
back.
yeah, so
Yeah.
like all of that starts hurting. And I know I'm overworking, like if my whole right arm needs to be chopped off, basically.
Mm.
Yep.
And then nothing fixes that except giving it a break and like stretching.
Yeah.
Which usually if I'm overworking, I don't have time for that. So,
Right.
So there's some physical things, but I feel like mostly I notice it mentally in the way that I start like talking to and interacting with others.
Mm.
And that I'll notice I'm like, if I am talking to someone, I'm on my phone more, or I'm like, I can't keep up a conversation and my sense of humor is gone. And like,
Right.
and I notice it more in their reaction to me.
Mhm.
So it's not so much like a physical thing because I have a lot of physical pain constantly, but it's
Mhm.
more socially. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm
Right.
recognizing that my battery is drained, that I am stressed, and I don't have any more energy because of how I'm seeing other people respond to me.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's a big one too.
I get
Especially, like-
cranky.
Like
Mhm.
the self-talk or
Yeah.
interacting with people. Like if I'm worn,
Yeah.
if like I'm stressed and I'm tired,
Mhm.
there's no room for any shenanigans.
Yeah. What about you, Kaylee?
I feel like I just don't have a whole lot of stress awareness.
That's fair.
Absolutely fair.
Yeah.
I do know, like, if I'm like super stressed and I know why I'm stressed, I will notice myself like getting short with people
Yeah.
and then being like, okay, I'm sorry I snapped at you. I'm really stressed out right now. But that doesn't happen that often. But I know I'm stressed all the time. So
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
That's kind of the other thing is for me, like, I feel stress more in moments of stress
Right.
than I do like general stress across the board. Because I'm like, I don't know, like the way my brain works is it's like one thing at a time, and then it's on to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not like carrying, or I don't feel like I'm carrying stress from that thing 40 things ago.
Right.
Because usually for 39 things ago, I'm like ranting and raving and being like, well, that's stupid, and I feel a way about it, and it's stressing me the heck out, and then I'm on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Probably are still carrying it though.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's pretty cumulative.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely is. It's just in the way that I notice it. I just don't.
You
Right.
wouldn't know to link like the stress that you're feeling now to what happened 40 things ago.
Right,
Even
exactly.
though it might partially be because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what Jen does for me is she connects that dot.
Yeah.
Well, she'll be like, oh yeah, that thing. And I'm like, oh, that would make sense.
Mhm.
There's a lot of that.
Well, and I get short with people too, or I get to a point where I don't want to interact at all.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, how can I get through whatever I'm doing with the fewest words spoken on record?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
let me out of here without talking to you, please. Please.
I think just verbalizing
talking
it can
to
help
you.
though, because I've
Don't
noticed
talk to me.
no amount of like sugar or caffeine is really gonna fix that. It's
Yeah.
just gonna be that, but with more energy or
There's shit
further.
that says like, don't talk to me until I've had my coffee, but the coffee part's all crossed out. It's
Yeah, just don't talk to me.
Just don't
Just
talk
don't
to me.
talk to me.
But yeah, I think just letting people know, like, hey, here's where I'm at mentally, just so you know, coming to this conversation, it's not a you thing.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at, and just like letting them respond to that how they will.
I've had that
Yeah.
conversation
Helpful.
with Red and Rory. Like
Oh,
they'll
yeah.
come in after school and I'm like, guys, I'm not.
Mhm.
Today is not it. And they'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
And they just usually let me chill.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
And even if they need you, you know, they know now
Mm-hmm.
that if he responds this way, it's not, I can't take that personally. This is
Exactly.
just something else going on. It gives
Right.
them more, I don't know, ownership over the interaction.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Because it's that explicit communication.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm good at that with the kids.
Yeah.
Always important.
Well, and like if I come home with something weighing heavy, usually the first thing I do is I tell my husband about it. And then I'm like, I'm really frustrated about this. It's making me super mad or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about it. I need some time to like process. And then I go be by myself, if at all possible.
Right.
Because that's the only way is to be alone.
Well, and to go through it. You're not alone in
Yeah.
like avoiding. You're not like, I'm
No.
alone in doom scrolling my way away from my feelings.
Or like sitting there trying to figure out what that feeling was.
Right.
You're like, I felt a way about that interaction and I'm not really sure what it was. But I like, it's so hard for me to not like intellectualize it.
Right.
Because I'm like, I want to know what it is, what caused it, and like be aware of that. And once I'm aware of that, it like, I'm done with it. And that's kind of the pain too, is like,
Right.
I know what that is now. Not a big deal. Throw it in the back seat. Don't know. Now the pain can get like loud and I can't do that sometimes. But usually when I'm like stressed out, if I can identify what's causing it, then I'm good to go.
Yeah.
But then I also feel like I'm doing it wrong because you're not supposed to intellectualize your feelings.
no winning.
No winning.
No winning.
None. But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one.
Mm-hmm.
But then I liked what Krieg was saying, where Krieg gave our feeling your feelings like recipe thing a try.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell apart like what a feeling in your body is versus what
A
pain in
symptom.
your body is.
Yeah.
That's where I get stuck a lot, where I'm like, okay, do I feel the feeling or do I feel, ow, my shoulder just subluxed? Like,
I know we've talked about that before, like with doing body scans, and you're like,
Yeah.
I would get too focused on
and
the
frustrated
pain,
and annoyed.
like the body scan is useless if you're just like stuck on
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Like I can kind of reason out what might be pain and what might be an emotional thing, but I never know if I'm right.
Right.
Or like a pain will be like, oh, you're quiet now? I'm going to get really loud because you haven't paid attention to me enough today.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But what
And
would
I'm
be
like,
the
stop.
what would be the fix for either of those, regardless of where it's coming from? Wouldn't the fix be
I
similar enough?
Feel like
Kind of.
with being able to identify whether it's like a feeling or a pain, if you focus on the feeling and the thought, if it, like the sensation feels more intense when
Mhm.
you're focused on the thought, that might be a way to tell, but it might
Yeah.
not always be the case.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I
No,
have that problem. Like,
That might be a
lot.
good way to kind of test it out. Poke
Like
it.
try
Poke
thinking
it.
about something else and then come
Poke
back
it with
to
your
it.
brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give yourself a break in a direction you think would fix it, or that the problem, and see if it fixes it. And if it doesn't, then it's probably the other thing.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like with anything, we have to try things out.
Right.
Like, especially, I mean, that's how we tackle pain problems.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this hurts from this.
Right.
this and this. Maybe
Let me
if
poke it and figure out which way that
Right.
hurt and what I can do about it.
It's just the emotional version of that.
Yeah.
Testing it out until you've learned, and then you have that in your like lexicon of.
I mean, it's a really good
Emotional
skill, and I
pains.
really like playing with it. It's just, it's hard, especially with the ADHD brain, to bring focus and remain focused and continue to like try to shove it in there.
Yeah.
You're like, stop singing. Why? You haven't heard that song in 11 years. Stop it. We're not doing that right now. It's like trying to wrangle a really rambunctious toddler.
Yeah.
What did right?
I remembered what it was.
Normalize pain?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's what season 6 was supposed to be.
Oh,
Not
okay.
anymore.
Season of normalizing like pain and invisible
Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, how does that apply to this?
It doesn't.
Are you gaslighting me right now?
Yes. Guess what? You've never felt pain before in your life.
Not
Girl
ever.
boss.
Didn't you know
They
it's all
keep
positive?
Yeah.
So dumb.
Every pain is a good thing.
It just preps your body for when you're gonna like get hit by a truck.
You'll
What?
be ready for it.
You'll be-
The
Take
truck
it
The
down.
pain will
Capitalism.
be nothing.
The truck
It's
is
fine.
capitalism.
It
Oh,
all makes sense.
the truck is capitalism.
The truck was capitalism
The whole time.
Trucks are like a good symbol for capitalism too.
They really are.
It's just a semi.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Sounds about right.
Oh my gosh.
Now, have you tried the like feel your feelings formula since we did it?
Yeah.
What
It's
did
not
you
something
think
that I
about it?
hadn't done before,
Well, yeah.
but I did it with more
Like
intention this time.
conscious
Yeah.
steps. Yeah. How did that go?
Not bad. It was when it was a toughie because it was when I was in that funk. I was trying to
Oh,
figure
yeah.
out what that was attached to me being sick,
Yeah.
because as I had the infection, I was like, there was an emotional
Yeah.
parallel, like whatever the mood or vibe was the infection as far as I could tell.
Right.
And I tried to piece it out and I just couldn't get to it because it's beyond
I had an interesting thought.
what.
And if your brain works closer, like if your brain and my brain are communicating on this level, this might ring true.
Okay.
I'm wondering how much of the emotion is attached to the idea that you could have died and not even known about it.
Probably a lot.
Because that's where I go. Is like,
Yeah.
I'm cool with like dying if I'm like good. Like I'm
Right,
in
if
it
you're a
and I'm
participant.
conscious and I know what's happening.
Yeah.
But to like die and not even know about it is a different thing.
That and not having any like control about
Yeah.
the situation.
Hmm.
It was those two things for sure. I have pieced that out.
Okay. I was like, I wondered.
No, you're exactly right. Like that was one of them because it was like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But the other part was that my experience throughout, I had no control.
Yeah.
I had no ground. There was no like, oh, I'm in reality.
Right.
It was, you're going to go through some weird shit and it's not going to stop. And then every once in a while, people are going to like come into your vision and be like, you're dying. And you'll be like, what? And then back into the ether. Like it was a trip,
Yeah.
you
Sounds
know?
like it. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's where I would be, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like I have to like find the source. Find the
Right.
source.
Well, and the mood was like its own thing though.
Yeah.
And it persisted with the infection.
Mhm.
Because once the infection was gone, I was back to being grounded. I felt like one with everything again.
Yeah.
Like reality was reality.
Mhm.
I wasn't questioning whether or not the sun was real or not.
Right. It's a lamp.
Because for a while, I could only perceive. It was weird. It was like regressing. I could only perceive the room I was in.
Yeah.
Like nothing existed outside of the room, and it really bothered me.
Right.
Because I knew that there were things outside of the room, but I couldn't. My brain was like, no, it's just the room now,
People would come in and out, and you're like, they exist now, and then they leave, and you're like, they're gone.
and they're gone.
They're gone
Forever.
forever.
It was weird. It was like my object permanence was like broken.
Yeah. Well, I think it had to do with like sensory input,
Yeah.
and so you could only perceive what you could.
What was
have
there.
Sensory
Perceive.
input. Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird stuff. And I'm still like wrapped up in the I gotta feel my feelings piece because I use a lot of humor.
Yeah.
So like, and it's not deflection.
What's not fair to you is that I think that in our conversations we've had, you've been more realistic and less hide behind humor.
Yeah.
But in your conversation with your psych,
yeah,
you were guarded.
Yeah.
So it's like she didn't get to see that you're actually processing it more, I think, at least healthier than she
She
thinks.
needs to watch the podcast.
Right.
Right.
She was like, what if I gave you permission to not use humor in our sessions? And I was like,
That's like a hint. It's like, how about
okay.
How about you just don't fucking make jokes anymore? How about we try that on for a minute?
She's like, we got to get you to the crying part. Oh wait, we're out of time. But you're crying now.
Got 'em.
So figure that one out.
She just tased you, and then
I
that
know.
was it.
Feel your feelings.
This is a threat.
And
Yeah.
that was the end of the session. It was, she's like, I'll
I
see you
felt
in a
that
month.
feeling, and it sucked. Can I process? No. Okay.
No, you got to go back and teach math.
Yeah.
Whoop. That was exactly it too. And I was like, how do I get out of this building in tears?
Yeah.
What the heck? I'm locked in an office. It's not even my office. My stuff's not in here.
But do you feel like that's accurate? Because
I think so.
we've been
because-
way more real with each other.
Yeah.
Like more direct
Even
and less.
our conversation yesterday
Yeah.
about like, it's a really weird thing, and I know it's weird, but my brain is still trying to like figure things out and put things where they go and
Mm-hmm.
like sort it into categories where I can feel settled. But the like when I went to work, one of my coworkers was like, "Oh yeah, my uncle killed himself because of that," and I was just like, "Cool." I
Lit.
What
like
a
I
thing to
knew
tell
that was the
someone,
thing, right? But it was weird, and then to have like it almost feels like a threat that's hanging over me. Like at any
Right.
point, I might commit suicide. What? No, that's a choice, and I get
Right,
to
because it
choose
feels well,
that.
and it
That's the feeling.
right that like
that's
you're
the thought.
obligated to do this at some point. It's
Right.
gonna happen
Like,
without
well, it's
your
just what
say.
happens.
And then there's like the weird survivor's
Yeah.
guilt there too, because I'm like, I know, I just don't know. I know eventually I will be fine,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll be as fine as I can be. But there's that like survivor's guilt of
The people who weren't fine.
right, and I'm like, well, who am I if they
Like,
couldn't?
why am I
Yeah.
better than them?
Yeah.
Right.
Brains are so shitty.
They're so weird. They're
Yeah.
just like, hi, would you like this randomly intense?
So what you're saying is
thing?"
that you're worried about a future where you can't control your death.
Yeah.
So literally the same thing I'm going through.
Oh no.
What are you? Wait, what?
Oh no.
It's the same thing. So we were
Kind
talking
of.
about how like I had like the fact that it could happen at any moment.
Mhm.
See, she feels like it's an impending status. Like
Mhm.
even though you know
Yeah.
that
I'm
you're
like,
in control
at
of it,
at any
you still have like a
random-
timer above your head somehow that's
Yeah.
counting down to this thing that you don't.
Like, you know how
Right.
you're gonna die, you just don't know when.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of. That was me, sorry.
No, that was you having a
I
stroke.
have like 30 alarms set every day.
Dude.
So
But yeah, no, there is a lot of it that's wrapped up in that.
Mhm.
That's like, well, if they couldn't do it.
Right.
But then it's like, well, I know I'm not them, and I still have like it will be a choice no matter what.
Right.
But it feels like this
That
like
was-
smothering blanket
that
of
was my thought
weirdness.
that got me into therapy.
Hmm.
When Robin Williams committed suicide, I was like, well, if he can't do it,
Oh.
what hope do I have? But he had other stuff going on besides depression. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
That same thing with Chester from Lincoln Park.
Oh. Yeah. Well, and it's weird too because I don't feel like I don't know, like my depression is mostly in hand,
Yeah.
right? So that's not the thing.
And you haven't backslid
But-
into it or
Yeah,
anything.
Because
like
of
it's a
pain
different-
is different. Yeah.
Mhm.
Same but different.
Right. So I'm like, I'm always in pain. Why would this be any different? But it's so different. And that makes me crazy.
So you're xenophobic.
It's not a.
yeah, I don't want it to be
It's
different.
not a pain that you've
Get
learned
in
how
line.
to deal with.
Yeah.
And you're not sure if you will.
Right? My therapist was like, did you grieve after you found out you had EDS? And I was like, nope.
Nope. That was a celebration.
Yeah, not at all. There was no grief for the condition at all.
Right.
There never has been.
It was an answer.
Right. That might come from a misunderstanding of the healthcare system and how chronic things are diagnosed over time.
Right. I was
Yeah.
like, this has always been my life. And for some weird reason, you and I both knew it wasn't going to be something that was curable.
Right.
So there was never like a thought of like, oh, we might find out that there's a magic cure.
We
And I was
weren't
like,
looking for a cure. We
there's
were
gonna
looking
be
for an
no
answer.
cure.
We're
Yeah.
disappointed to find out that there wasn't
Right.
a cure.
Right, exactly. So I know like my husband grieved
Mhm.
when he learned that there was going to be no cure and it was just a forever thing. And I was like, buddy, we knew that.
Right.
And he was like, I didn't know that. And I'm like, oh, I thought you did. I'm sorry.
Right.
Thought we were on the same page. Oopsies.
Well, I don't think grieving is the right word. We were talking about
Right.
this yesterday. I don't think you've been grieving
Right.
because you're not like, oh no, my life is over.
No, it's like I'm frustrated that I can't make this pain. I can't like break this pain the way I
Right.
break everything else and make it baseline.
Mhm.
I cannot baseline the pain.
It's gonna be a new set of skills
Yeah.
and
And I'm like, this is different.
Yeah.
It's different and it's
Yeah.
weird.
sorry
So
everybody.
I know there's a lot of processing left to do there. You fucking better be. But I really like to do my processing alone. Or with you.
Yeah.
That's the two options.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I like being included.
And I tried the other day, but I kept getting interrupted. So I was like, nope, never mind.
That's
it's
fair.
Like, it's like meditating.
It is. You have to
You
get
have
into
to like
a zone.
literally meditate in order to figure out how to feel your feelings.
It literally is meditating.
Yeah.
Which makes it really hard when you have
Yeah.
ADHD and pets. Pets are
Right.
like, what are you doing?
So we just need to get
wanna
you over
cuddle?
here and you
Mm.
can just chill
Yeah.
on the couch
Yeah.
with no
What you
animals.
In the
need
dark.
is a
In the dark,
guided
yeah.
meditation.
Yeah. Because in here with the lights out, oof, it's so dark.
Mhm.
It's the darkest.
Like the dark. I was born in the dark.
Mhm.
I hate saying this because it's always the like, have you tried lists, meditation,
Have you tried
journaling?
fish oil?
Yeah. Have you tried
I have
fish
actually.
oil
your-
and
for
vitamin
your
D?
feelings?
Have you tried? Yeah.
Fish oil
But I
for your
really do like
feelings.
journaling because my brain will forget things I just said. And so being able to go back and
Yes.
reference that and look at it, you can find patterns too. Like I'll go back and every now and then periodically I'll go back and reread journal entries.
Yeah.
And then I start noticing like, oh, this was happening at that time. Oh, I've been saying this for like 3 months. Oh, the thing I just thought I came up with. Nope, I
podcast
realized
is
that
that.
4 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and
Yeah.
having a recorded, well, like a podcast.
Well, and the
Having-
podcast is that for us, I think. We're
Yeah.
like, hey, how long has your ankle been hurting? Ha, this many episodes.
Mhm.
But also, like, I love journaling, but the use of word brings me too far on the, like, intellectualizing side.
Mm.
Because if I assign it words, then I'm stuck a label on it, sorted it, put it away.
Paint your feelings.
There you go.
There you go. That would
Just
be a really
stream
good
of
one
consciousness, like poems or
for you. Yeah.
Because then you really
Something
do have
to-
to
something
focus on
freeform.
like the shape
Mhm.
of things and the color of
That's
things.
interesting. I actually like that. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah.
That would be a good one. Because, yeah, I have to, like, leave words behind. Like, most of my brain is in Word, but it doesn't leave room for other things because it's all words, and we've assigned everything words. So it makes it hard. But, yeah, no, painting is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be interesting. The podcast definitely is our journal, though.
Oh yeah. Hell, I mean, even today when you were watching back the first part of the
Mhm.
episode and you're like, my tooth, and you're like,
I was like, oh, yeah.
about that.
That's not the tooth. Oopsies. Just terrible.
Yeah.
You wanting to end it?
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've exhausted the topic. It was a really good topic. I really like it. But, yeah, there's a lot to be said there, for sure.
Always. We'll come back
Of course.
with like a different perspective.
Yeah.
Different circumstances even, which will just make us look at it differently.
Yeah, because there's
that-
always that mood-based learning that
Mhm.
exists.
now that you've thought about it, you'll keep thinking about it as you're experiencing it,
Exactly.
and then you'll have new perspectives on it. It's that
Exactly.
metacognition.
Yep.
Which is why it's so hard to explain to doctors who are like, can you simplify this into a sentence for me? What does your pain feel like? And you're like, here's like 7 podcast episodes. Can you just like listen to all of that?
Yeah.
And you'll get a good vibe for what this
Exactly.
is like.
Right? Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, too, is like there's not enough word
Right.
to describe what's happening.
Give them your paintings.
at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Show
I
up.
feel like
What's the
this.
pain like?
Here's my
What's this?
here's my entire profile of pain. This was last Monday. Look at the
Give
use
them
of
a
reds.
Rorschach.
The red. It's everywhere. Red rum, red rum.
Like it's just red. What does this mean? I don't. It's my feelings.
You figure it out.
Yeah.
You're the doctor.
Come on.
Aren't you supposed to be good at Rorschach? Like, you do this.
You asked me for an ephemeral answer to a very like simple, what sounds like a simple question. So here you go. Here's my like very weird, bizarre answer to
Yeah.
this. It's a visual
That's-
representation.
Get what you asked for.
That's
Yeah.
like when people ask me if I'm happy. And I'm like, in this moment? What?
Yeah.
That always leads back to the conversation we have every time. Where it's like
I'm like,
happy is
happy
not
is-
neutral.
Yeah, no, happy is a feeling that I feel sometimes
Yeah.
when I'm happy.
Did
It's
I tell
not
you
baseline.
guys? I read that book called How to Be Happier,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like you can't. It's not how to be happy, because happy's not like something that you can achieve. It's like I did it. I'm happy. I've achieved life's biggest goal. It's like how to be happier. It's like, are you happier than you were the day before? Yes, maybe, maybe not.
Right.
Here's how to be maybe a little happier tomorrow.
That's
It's
not
just
bad.
like an ongoing project. Of
Yeah.
Like
Well, that's a good way to tackle it.
it also talks about how like people who set out to achieve happiness are less likely to
Oh,
feel
absolutely.
happiness.
Yeah.
And if you focus, it breaks it down into like 5 things or something, like 5 different aspects of life that add up to like a feeling of happiness. You can focus on like actually attainable goals, and then
Yeah.
be like, I feel a little happier now.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with any kind of comparison, though.
We need to get those cards against.
Oh, yeah.
Anxiety
I'll bring
on
them
here.
for next week.
Yeah.
They're on my desk at work.
Have you heard of those?
No, that sounds fantastic.
It's amazing. It's like you go through and they're just different coping skills
Yep.
and tools and ways to look at things that help you process your anxiety or bring you back to being like grounded, and
That sounds cool.
it's
Yeah.
really cool.
I gotta look into
I'll
it.
be
I did-
back next week for that.
Yeah, do it. You'll have to remind me on Friday.
Okay.
Be like, cards. Get the cards.
Bring
Bring
me
the
the
cards.
cards.
Are they secret? Are they safe?
Yes.
Yes. All right, my friends. I think it's time that we call it a day. We were like, we're done. And then we kept talking.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's always good conversation. So
Mhm.
we appreciate you guys being here. And we appreciate you guys being here. I think that's it. Nothing to shill.
No. I mean,
The
Patreon,
usual.
website,
PayPal. Like-
merch.
Like,
Directly
share,
PayPal them.
subscribe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, share, subscribe, comment. Again, and join
Yes.
Discord. Those are the big ones for
Yeah.
us.
It's a good idea.
And we're not trying to drive our meta up. We're not like, comment because we want blithering idiocy. I don't want to see like a first.
Sorry, I'll stop doing
Yeah,
that.
please. I'm getting real sick of it.
Give them discourse, y'all. Fight them on everything they say and create so many comments.
Be the well actually.
Yes.
Well, actually, us into oblivion.
Be the well actually of the world.
That
Be the well actually you want to see.
gets them more
Yeah,
audience.
yeah.
The well actually see in the world.
Oh.
Well, actually, I
I'm
don't.
gonna make a bumper sticker that says
Please. You can find this bumper sticker at
Right.
in the
Plug it in.
future.
Redbubble.
Just
I don't
wait.
know the
Redbubble.
URL somewhere on Redbubble.
Okay.
I'll link it here.
Somewhere. Oh,
Let
no.
me text you the timestamp.
Thank you.
Good idea. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for hanging out. We really appreciate you. We hope you got something out of today. We definitely did.
Mhm.
If I could speak, life would be better. And until next time, be good to you, be good to others, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
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 Whoopah! My brain just like shut off, like mid sentence. My whole
It's
face
fine.
drained.
That happened to
I
me
just
several
went,
times. Like
There's
the dizzy
no
kept
blood.
hitting me. I was like, why? What did I do to you?
Well, you
Spots?
almost died.
Yeah.
So you might
Are you still on about
You
this?
might
What's
still
my
be recovering
excuse?
from that.
Recovering.
What's the hard part is that like I am.
Yeah.
It's just hard to give myself more than like a week.
Right.
No, you need to give yourself than a week.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, no, I'm all
You're
better
in
now
the
because the clock said
ICU.
so.
Where people spend multiple weeks at a time. So
They really process me quickly though. They're like, get him through.
they're like, he'll be fine at home. Just
He's got a
I
wife.
need this
She won't
bed
leave
for
us
somebody
alone.
else. They wanted to get rid of Jen.
She's too good at this. We
Yeah.
can't do whatever
She
we
keeps
want.
telling us how to do our jobs. Just send her home.
And she's right. We hate it.
She's got it under control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.